and it's preparing to go now. All righty. Well, let's say good afternoon to everybody. Hope everybody had a good break, and we had an excellent. I'm from the South. I call it dinner because it's noon. It's Sunday dinner. You're just going to check our audio to be sure it is good here, and it is. So there we go. Okay, and there we go. Yes, we just turned on our stream for the afternoon primary track. And there we go. Just making sure we're all set to go. Okay, good. That's what it should be. All right. Well, we'll say welcome back, everybody, and hope that you had a good break. And pardon me, I should be better prepared on here. Nope, there was in one of the windows I had up, and I selected the wrong one. All right, this afternoon's tracks are going to be as follows. Those of you who've been waiting since the morning session, I'm sure this is part 2 of the NXDN track for today, and if my smartphone will cooperate, it will be a lot of it will be a demonstration, and this will be, by the way, I will restate this, and you can do the same, because when Russ edits it, it will be in it. This will be reproduced with the actual slides in it and the live demo part recorded in the video. So in about 2 or 3 weeks, watch for the recreated version, and it should be quite good. And I'm trying to get my smartphone to cooperate and get the title for the other program. We have a second track running in the next room as well, and I can see that it's not wanting to cooperate today. Don't you love technology? It works until you want it to do what you want it to do. Yeah, called the no, it's called the operator effect. If someone can't operate a smartphone. Anyway, I should have printed this out in advance, and well, I didn't, and now I'm paying the price for it. All righty, now just. Is this what you're looking for? Yes, sir. I got the schedule because I don't remember. Well,
it does have the times written on it.
Oh, somebody wrote it by me. Okay. Yes, thank you. There it is. I finally found I thought I found the tab that was open. All right. Yeah, go and give me let me see, the 1:30 p.m. Okay, I just glanced and saw it. Okay, we have in the primary track the continuation of our NXDN. This will be a live demonstration of some new capabilities for NXDN that have not been heretofore in our section, and hopefully beyond. And in the second track, Gordon Gibby is once again, he's on his marathon, part 4 of 5 today. EMP-proof communications in the age of Putin. How do you make your radios EMP secure or more so? So that way, again, the second track is being recorded. It will be produced. Russ will do the editing to it, and will be available in a few weeks on our YouTube channel. So I'm going to, without further ado, pass this mic to you. And I just hit transmit, and we're looking for, have you got the other wireless mic? Okay, you're all set to go. You clip this on and the podium.
All right. Thank you very much, Daryl. And we'll test 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. We're in good shape here. Let me flip this on. I am all thumbs. There we go. Got it correct. Thank you all for coming back. Hope you had a great lunch, whether it was here at the Hillsborough County EOC or if you had the pleasure of being able to do it at home, or maybe you went out for lunch, but whatever you had, hope it was a good one. And we will go on from there. This morning at the end of our first NXDN presentation, and for those of you who weren't here for that, by the way, I'm Paul Toth. Call sign is NB9X, and my badge tells me I'm the Assistant Section Manager for West Central Florida. I'm not sure what that means yet, but we'll figure it out. In any event, at the end of our first session this morning, I promised you all a very special surprise. And this is something that been working on for a while. It is a capability within NXDN that you can do on a limited fashion within any NXDN radio. But wouldn't it be nice to be able to communicate on NXDN using the written word as opposed to the spoken word? Because NXDN is a digital mode, communicating in both manners is very, very doable. In fact, NXDN supports 100 character text messaging, no matter which radio you may have, whether it's a first generation or a second generation or the coming third generation radios. And I liken NXDN text messaging to SMS. Granted, there aren't quite as many characters, 100 versus 140 in the SMS world, but it is meant for short digital messaging, tactical messaging in particular. But in the lab, we've also worked out a way of taking messages that are longer than 100 characters and concatenating them. There's one of those $25 words. How many people know what concatenate means? Very good. Very good. Yeah, it means gluing a stream of 100 here, 100 here, and 100 here, and before long, you've got a full message. Bottom line is, if we ever do want to do things like NTS messaging or other forms-related messaging through NXDN, it is very doable, it is very fast, and in fact, with some laboratory work that we've done, we actually were able to calculate that we could send 24 typical NTS messages in the same time frame that it would take you to transmit one by voice, even with an extremely experienced and efficient operator. So that will give you some idea of the power of NXDN messaging. And as I said, we know what needs to be done. It just needs to be a matter of including it. Now, the program that we're going to be demonstrating right now is something that we're unveiling this afternoon for the first time. You all are getting the first look at weather message for NXDN. And it's named as such because for the Skywarn program, which is very active here in West Central Florida, we need a means of communicating that is multidimensional. Now, the National Weather Service has already set up and spent a lot of money doing it, a very well-rounded textual messaging format in a program they call NWS Message. And for those of us who are Skywarn net control operators, as well as members of the news media, NWS Message is now an integrated multi-level communications platform where we can send directly to the Weather Service meteorologists the fact that we've just spotted a tornado or a severe thunderstorm, or we have flooding occurring in our neighborhood, or there's damage by high winds that was caused by a thunderstorm that just blew through. This information not only is immediately visible to the meteorologist on staff at the Weather Service office, any Skywarn spotter report that gets sent to the office can also lead to the issuance of a severe weather warning, be it for tornadoes, severe thunderstorms, floods, whatever the case happens to be, whatever the event happens to be. NWS Message is a great platform, and the Weather Service has obviously spent a lot of money and a lot of energy putting this platform together. The one downside to NWS Chat, as it currently exists, is that it is internet-based. And we all know, living here in West Central Florida, the internet can break. And it doesn't even necessarily take severe weather, or for that matter, any kind of weather at all, for the internet to break. In the communications biz, we have a term called backhoe fade. And with all of the construction that is going on here in West Central Florida, as well as lots of other places, having a fiber cut as you're building a new road or as you're putting in a new subdivision is somewhat commonplace. So if the internet breaks, NWS chat kind of breaks with it. And as ham radio, I figured this is a good opportunity for us to show some of what we can do with the technology that we already have in hand, that we're already using for Skywarn voice reports. And so hence what I'm about to show you got the name WX Message for NXDN. Having said that, this is a program that can also be used for general tactical messaging. So for an Aries group or any kind of an event, if you need to send messages back and forth, this program will do it very efficiently, do it very neatly, and you can then communicate in yet another way using NXDN. On our desktop, right now, we've got two major windows. The one on the left is what we call the station list. And we've got two stations in there right now, one that is NB9X-7 and another station that just cropped up right before we started the demo, NB9X-1. These are two different NXDN radios, and we'll explain a little bit about how they got there and the capabilities of that list. On the right-hand side is our actual message list. And all messages are date stamped and time stamped, of course, as well, but we choose not to show the date necessarily. It shows you a from and a to. And in this case, with the message that's up there right now, which was sent over talk group 1, because we're using a simplex frequency here for demonstration purposes today inside the building, it is a local talk group. So you'll notice down in the lower left-hand corner, you've got a small little window there with a 1 in it. Well, that's the actual talk group number, but our software also has a station lookup table. So when it looked up the what number 1 meant, it means it is a local talk group, and hence that's why it's displayed that way in the message list. And then the message itself is welcome to TECHCON. Now, we're going to get ready to send another message here so that you can actually see what's going on. So we'll take our mouse cursor down here to our window right below our message list, and we're going to type something. We're going to say, this is WX message. Short, simple, and to the point. We hit the enter key, and the message was sent. And we know the message was sent because a moment ago you heard a couple of radios that were chirping, and this happens to be that NB9X-1 radio, and scrolling across the screen right now is something that says, this is WX message. Also, for those of you who would receive this message in the field, you'll notice that it is also tagged with the call sign of the sending station, which in this case was NB9X-11, so that we're dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's from an FCC legal standpoint. And oh, by the way, if you got an F2100, you'll notice that the radio is chirping. That's a sounder that we've programmed into the radio so that whenever a message is received, it gives us an oral chirp so that we can go then look at the screen and take care of it. We've got different sounders for different radios and a couple back here on the back that we're going to just turn the sounder off so as to not be distracted. So this this again is a very efficient way of messaging. We can message to another computer, which we happen to have one right back here, which just went into sleep mode, so we've got to wake it up. So what happens when you do not activate the keyboard as often as you need to, but the message is back here and we're in good shape. Now, the program will work here in West Central Florida on our NXDN repeater network in talk group mode. So if, let's say I'm here in Tampa and I'm using the Boyette repeater and I want to communicate with somebody in Charlotte County through any one of the repeaters there, I'll pick a talk group. Maybe it's 1200. If it happens to be for a Skywarn event, it would be talk group 1299, or it may be something that we haven't even talked about. We did have a list of talk groups out there this morning. We will communicate via talk group for the time being when you need to use more than one repeater at a time to complete the message. Unfortunately, our NX core is still under development and still does not have the capability to pass what are called individual NXDN calls. That is where I'll pick up this radio and we'll send something to a specific radio based on its ID. Having said that, if you are using the same repeater for both ends of the message, so I'm here on the Boyette repeater, and if the person I'm trying to communicate is also on the Boyette repeater, we can pass individual messages. Way cool. So instead of everybody getting the message, I can target the message to a specific person, a specific radio. And I'm going to show you how you do that right now. Down in the lower left-hand corner in our little number box there, we have a number 1, which means it's a local talk group. But I want to send a message to this radio right now, NB9X-1. So I'm going to bring my mouse cursor over here to that row. I'm going to click on it, and you'll notice that down there we went from a 1 to 12201, which happens to be the ID, the NXDN ID of this radio. I'm now going to send a message. I will put that down temporarily because I can't hold two things in my hands and type. So I'm going to type another message here, which will be welcome to TECHCON. All right, we've got that message not ready to go because I did not have my mouse cursor down here in the message compose box, which it is now. And we will type away.
The call sign is big enough to make green bar.
I'm sorry.
Upper left corner, the green bar doesn't have a call sign anymore.
Well, it doesn't have it. Yeah, I didn't, because at this point we're dealing with numbers, but you'll see the call sign pop up here in just a second. So now I've got my message typed. I'm going to hit the enter key. And you notice before we had 2 or 3 radios that were chirping at us when we sent the message. Well, this time we only had 1 radio chirping. And that's because the message went specifically and directly to this radio only. That's called individual messaging. And that is available right now if the source and the receiver are both using the same repeater. And to prove it, we're going to go back here to our other NXDN message, and it didn't show up there because the radio that it's connected to has a different ID. So all of that worked very nicely. And if you need to be able to send a message to a specific person, let's say that Bill back there here in Hillsborough County, Aries Racy Central, needs to send a message directly to Ken and only to Ken, he can do it because they would be operating through the same repeater or simplex channel.
But then, does that take a laptop or computer, or can you do it from a handset to a handset?
No, well, if you're going to do something in freestyle text right now, you need to have a laptop. Unfortunately, my ideal NXDN radio would look an awful lot like a smartphone, but it operates NXDN on a ham. And unfortunately, even with an F4400 radio with a keypad, trying to punch that out is like trying to punch out a message from the early cell phone days back of 1996 or something. Right. Multiple presses to get one letter. But that's why we now have this capability. All right, let me show you a couple of the other things. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here to our other workstation, which is set up, and I'm going to compose a message here. I just sent that and notice that it popped up on the screen. That was sent through Talk Group 1 to our other computer and to any other radio that may have Talk Group 1 dialed into it. And we do have a couple of other radios that are here. On the messages that we generated using the display that you're seeing up on the screen here in the room,